Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to another program of In Spiritual Insight, in which we discuss anything and everything related to the spiritual being, the spirit itself, the ruh, and having its insight. So, having the ma'rifah, the comprehension, what's the power of the spirit, how can we make our spiritual power more stronger, what are the things that we should avoid, and what are the things that we should implement in our life so that our spirit, our third eye, our ruh can be strong. So, without any ado, I would like to welcome our daily guest, Brother Jafar Imran, who is currently studying a PhD. He studied in the Hausa of Qom, fluent in 5 languages. Welcome, Brother Jafar, to the program Spiritual Insight.
Thank you very much, brother Zaidi, Syed Zaidi. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you are following and enjoying the program. In case you have any comment, then you can reach out to the studio with the number that will be provided. Inshallah, bro, what are we going to talk about today?
So, today we were going to continue on from the conversation about the proudness and
Yes,
and being humble. So there was
yes.
we will continue that. So this is the ikhlaqiyat
Mhm.
part that we will going to discuss. Why one
Yes.
should not be proud, why one should be humble, but there's a caveat in this. What that is that superiority complex and inferiority complex. I've got
Yes.
the
Okay,
pronunciation right now. So,
go and have some water.
so
You really tried best.
yeah.
Mm.
So we will discuss this. So when it is okay to feel pride about yourself, and when it is
Mm.
not okay to feel humble and humiliated about yourself. So this is also we have to touch the aspect, and then we will
Mm.
also talk about salat. We will also talk about a bit about Ramadan, a few tips, as we've been daily giving
Mhm.
our few tips. And a
Mhm.
controversial issue which I wanted to touch today was about abortion. So I think
Mm.
mainly I will be talking about the abortion section, and
Mm.
then we talk about istikhara. So you've got a lot of things to tell us, myself and our dear viewers, about what istikhara means, why we should do istikhara, the
Can we
importance of istikhara. Yes, you were saying?
can we start with that? Can we start with that first?
Yes, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Brother Jafar, could you start about
Mm.
istikhara? Love doing the program with you.
Ah, let me start with that because you focused more on that. So about
Yeah.
istikhara is when I can't say that you are confused, but you have many options and you don't know which option should be placed as a priority to you. You have two things you have to do. You have two businesses you want to do them, but you don't know which business is good for you. When it comes to marriage, you have two ladies or you have two men who came for your proposal, but you don't know which person is the best for you. For person, then that is another issue. Let me say for a personal relation, you don't know if that friend, you got a new friend or you are in a new school or you are in a new community, so you don't know which person are you going to choose to be your friend. So that's personal relation. So when it comes to such a matter, you have to do istikhara because you yourself with your mind you cannot understand the issue beyond whatever your eyes is seeing. Maybe you are seeing buying this house is better because it is decorated so and so, but you don't know if this house is going to damage your iman. Then there you do istikhara. Even Arab people they say al khira and al hira. You do istikhara. Istikhara is when somebody is confused. You have two ways. You don't know which way will lead you to the path that you need will reach you to the objective that you did in such a status or a situation. We normally do istikhara. So I have a hadith here to support this issue. عن أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام قال اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. This hadith comes from Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said بعثني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إلى اليمن. The Holy Prophet sent me to Yemen. فقال لي, and he told me, وَهُوَ يُوصِينِي وَهُوَ يُوصِينِي. He told me while advising me, or he told me and advised me, Ya Ali, by saying, Ya Ali, O Ali, ma hara man istakhara. He won't go astray. No, he won't get confused. Tahayyur is getting a confusion. Ma hara man istakhara. He won't get confused. A person who will do istikhara. If somebody is confused, he doesn't know what option can he or she choose, then he has to do istikhara, or she has to do istikhara. Wala najima man istashara. And he won't regret the person who takes advices. If you take an advice from someone, you are trying to buy their what they experience from them and imply it in your own life. So this hadith shows us when somebody is, let me say, has option, not really confused, he has to do istikhara. Ma haraman istikhara. He won't get confused. The person who does what, who does istikhara. So that is the general thing about istikhara. So if somebody wants istikhara about marriage, about job, let me say about contract or business or even personal relation, then this hadith supports that issue, and they can reach us and we can do for them istikhara. So that is all about istikhara. If you have anything, brother, you can add, please.
Yes, the reason I wanted to add something here was this, that a lot of people are also, they don't believe in istikhara. They're Muslims, there's nothing wrong in them, and it's not that we should consider them as disbelievers just because they don't believe in istikhara. It's just very hard for them to comprehend or accept the fact that istikhara is something that you could use as a tool of guidance in your life.
Mm,
Now,
mm,
and I think this is to do with your iman, maybe, because they sometimes see it as an irrational thing. And I can understand them. The
mm,
reason is because I'll give you my own personal example, Dr. Jafar. Before
mm,
coming to Hausa and studying in Hausa in Qom, my father is someone who always does istikhara. So he would have a tasbih
mm,
and he would do istikhara. But I would never believe those istikhara. I
mm,
used to think that this is just a chance game. You know, with the tasbih, when you do
mhm,
the istikhara with the tasbih, it's either you get the two dots or the one dot, right? The one dune, the one, in the
mm.
tasbih. So
Yeah, the one
I
which
used to think this is
when.
like a gamble. It's like a dice. You just throw the dice.
Mm,
Sometimes you get a 6, sometimes you get a 5, sometimes you get a 4. So I used to think of
mhm,
it as that until
mm,
I myself got into a situation where I didn't know what to do. And only
mm,
then I realized, okay,
mm,
that istikhara does help. So I think it's a personal
mm,
journey, and depending on where
mm,
you are at your iman and the experiences that you've gone through, many people will
mm,
relate with us regarding istikhara, but then many people will not
mm,
relate with us. And sometimes they will even say, they'll
mm,
make a mockery and they'll say, for example, also, are you going to see istikhara going to the toilet as well? For example, they will bring this kind of
mm.
examples as well. So this is
Yes.
something that I've noticed with individuals. So you'll find some people in the camp of, yes, so I agree with istikhara and I do exactly what istikhara says. Then you have another camp
Yes.
of people that say, oh, this is just silly. This you're not even using your intellect. For example, you're not using your
Yes.
intellect,
Mm,
and you're just using it because
mhm,
you don't know how to think, and you'll do anything what istikhara says. So I think
mm,
what I would say to those brothers and sisters that are skeptical about istikhara, I would say yes, be skeptical, but istikhara is only used after rationalizing your situation. So, for example,
yes.
you've thought about it and you said, well, this way is right, that way is right. I'm quite a bit of confused. Now I need to get guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, and it can
Mm,
be for even the most smallest thing though. But you've utilized your
mm,
intellect for it. You've used your
mm,
aql and you've utilized it, and then you've come to the
mm.
conclusion, no, maybe I should ask my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also it depends on your iman and taqwa. And the more taqwa you
Yes.
have, the more better your istikharas are. Because you are
Mm,
fearing God and you have the power of iman, and your spirituality is more stronger. And hence
mm,
the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so strong that istikhara is more clearer, more purer, more informative, than others. Now, the example I give you, Brother Jafar, is I'm sure you've experienced as well. You would go to some
Mm,
Moulana in Iran, in Qom, and you'd get your istikharas done by one of those individuals, and they'll come spot on. And actually, they will even
mm,
explain the situation to you. That you are thinking about
yes.
this thing, this situation. It's better that you don't do it because this will happen.
Mm,
I mean, it goes into that detail
yes.
just from that very Quran and how they relate
Mm,
that ayat to your practical life while your practical life that you are living in. And subhanallah,
mm,
this is the miracle of istikhara. And I always say to my immediate family that istikhara is one of the best consultation advice taken by a very supreme being. Why? What do I mean by that? Well, if you have to take
mm,
advice sometimes, you have to
mm,
pay a lot of money to get the best advice on what to do in a certain situation. And here, subhanahu wa
yes.
ta'ala, alhamdulillah, we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is a direct contact where you open the Quran
Mm,
or the tasbih, whichever way you do the istikhara, and you have a direct
mm,
communication and get the best guidance that you can get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
yes.
without costing
Yes.
anything. The only cost
Yes.
is that you should keep the Quran and not commit sins, for example. And this is what
Mm,
istikhara is, in my opinion.
yeah. It is true. On the other side, if you do istikhara, first of all, we do istikhara for things that are halal. That should be known. It's not that you do istikhara, can I fast tomorrow or not? It is wajib upon you for you to fast. So you cannot tell me that you know what I'm doing istikhara whether I should fast tomorrow or not. We shouldn't do that. That is the first mistake people do. Then the second thing is that it's either you don't do istikhara and do as per your mind says, if you think that is okay, or when you do istikhara and you got a result, you shouldn't go against the results of istikhara, because istikhara has already told you if you do this, it will happen. This is going to happen. So you shouldn't do against what the istikhara result is saying. Those two should be considered. First of all, we don't do istikhara for something which is haram. The second thing, if you opted to do istikhara after you've already calculated everything and you've done your analysis, after you've done that and you did istikhara, then you have to abide by the result of istikhara. You shouldn't do your own thing. So that is about istikhara.
Yes, Alhamdulillah, and in this day and age, especially in this day and age where things are confusing, and in the human being gets confused with which direction to take. Is it a safe direction, not a safe direction? And I just want to end this part of the istikhara section with just one hadith, Brother Jafar, from Imam Jafar
Mm,
Sadiq alayhi salam, when we there was a Sahabi, the disciple of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, where he said he asked Imam to do an istikhara for a business trip, and so the istikhara came negative. However,
mm,
that individual, Brother Jafar, he went for that trip. So he went against the istikhara that Imam Jafar Sadiq had done for him. And when he came back
mm,
after some time, after a month, 2 months, 3 months, I'm not sure of the time frame, but when he came back after some time, he he did the ziyarah of his Imam of the time, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, and he said, "Ya Imam, do you remember on this date you did an istikhara for me?" Imam said, "Yes, I do."
mhm.
And however, I'll come back with a lot of profit. So he made a good
Mm.
amount of profit from
A good amount of
his
profit.
business trip. Yes.
Mm,
However, what happened was that Imam Jafar Sadiq said, my follower, you, on this time, at this occasion, did you miss your Fajr prayer? He said, yes, Imam, I did miss my Fajr prayer. So Imam says, all this amount of money that you have made is not even equivalent to the importance of the prayer and the value of the prayer that you missed. Just that 2 rakat Fajr namaz that he
mm,
did qaza and he missed. So istikhara is only a tool for you, not for the materialistic world. It is for you to get
mm.
closer to your akhirah, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is also something
Yes.
that one should keep in mind. That when you're doing istikhara, your istikhara should not be just a worldly goal. It
For
has
worldly
to be
affairs
related
and
with your
goods.
akhirah. Yes,
Yes.
and that's why sometimes you realize that istikhara might have been not so good for you, but that is because it is protecting you from something worse which is worse, losing
mm,
your akhirah, losing your iman, losing your good deeds. So this is what the main
mm.
point of istikhara is. So before you judge the istikhara, you need to understand that the istikhara is a tool for you to get closer to your creator. And this is the month of Ramadan in which we are trying to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So brother Jafar, would you like
And
to talk
spiritual.
about a bit
Yeah.
about Ramadan? Yes, that's what
A
I
bit
was
about
trying to do.
Ramadan.
Yes.
About what? About Ramadan.
Yes, well, we've discussed about Ramadan a few things. We've discussed about the suhoor, the iftar, the importance of Ramadan, and the tips. Do you have any tips in your mind? I have a few. If you don't have something in your mind at the moment, for you as well, about how we can benefit most from the foods that we eat, the type of food we should be eating in Ramadan, for example. Have you got anything to
Mm.
say? Otherwise, I'll take the, I'll take the, I'll take this point to say.
You have I left for you the controversial issue, the hot discussion about abortion. You are going to talk there enough, inshallah. Don't worry. Here I
Okay.
can contribute. But when it comes to that issue, no, you there you have to open the field. So about the issue of Ramadan is that in the last week of Shaban, the Holy Prophet gave a good sermon concerning Ramadan, and he told people that you know what, whatever amal you are doing, whatever deed you are doing on this month of Ramadan, it is compensated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He went ahead and he said, Nawmukum fihi ibadah wa anfusakum fihi tasbih. Your sleep is like ibadah, and your breathing is like you are doing tasbih. So a lot of people here started asking, when I read that khutbah, people started asking, you mean Sheikh, we have to sleep the whole day because it is ibadah? No, that is not what it meant there. There, the Holy Prophet meant that if we do sleep in this month of Ramadan, he was referring to the next month, because that khutbah was for the last. It was the last Friday of Shaban when he gave that sermon. He meant that if we sleep our normal sleep, if we sleep, it's like we are doing ibadah. So nothing is will go for free. If we breathe, so don't start breathing faster, because you're going to suffocate. If we breathe, it's like we are doing tasbih. If we sleep, it's like we are doing ibadah. If we recite the Quran, only one verse is like we've already recited the whole Quran. So how will be the deeds of a person who recites Quran daily? If you can do it one juz, it will be very good for you. As you said that earlier, that in after every prayer, Subh prayer, just recite 4 pages. Dhuhr prayer, just you can just even recite 5 pages. Asr, after Asr prayer, you can recite 4 pages. During Maghrib prayer, you can recite even 5 pages. After Isha prayer, you can recite 4 pages. The whole of these five, five, then three, four, four, four. That is 12. You are going to achieve how many? You are going to achieve 22 pages. That is one juz. You are done with it. If it is possible for you to finish one juz, then well and good. Try and finish one juz. You are going to get abundant of thawabs. If it is not possible, then at least finish one surah. No, no, Sheikh, it is still very hard for me to finish one surah. Oh, Baqarah, it's very big. Okay, fine. At least Imam Jafar Sadiq said it is not among us. Yani Shia. He is not Shia, the person who cannot recite 50 ayah in a day. So you be a Shia and recite 50 ayah in a day. Is it very difficult for you? Yeah, you only know what Juz Amma, the 30th Juz of Quran from Amma till Nas. I only know that. So there is no excuse in that. If you want your what your tarazu, what is machine to be
Scale,
on your
the
positive,
scale,
uh no, the scale.
it's
If you
called a
want your
scale.
scale, okay, fine, I got you. If you want your scale to be heavier in your good deeds, then please observe those things. Don't oversleep because it is ibadah. You won't get thawab if you oversleep and your family is hungry. Don't do that. Don't say Sheikh said this and this. No, no, no. You do your normal things. On top of that, increase a lot of amal. You have a lot of opportunities. Give out sadaqah. Give out anything that anything that you can to the needy people. and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will compensate you. Okay, back to you, brother Faizul Hassan. Give us more tips.
Yes, very nicely you've explained about this point. And Ramadan also means the month where you burn away your sins. And now, by your hadith that you've mentioned, I can understand burning away sins, that you get so much sawab that it burns away the sins and the gunas that we've committed, and then we are born as a pure baby again on this world, pure without any sins or anything like that. So,
Yes. In that burning away the sins, here there is a hadith says, فَإِنَّ الْحَسَنَاتِ يُذْهِبْنَ السَّيِّئَاتِ. Many good deeds will put away your negative deeds. So somebody cannot say, "Oh, how can I just burn away my sins?" How is it possible? When you do a lot of good deeds, a lot of charity, a lot of recitation of the Holy Quran, you automatically your negative deeds will get banned. Continue, bro.
yes, so now let's move on to our next part because it's 24 minutes we're into the program. I wanted to discuss about the controversial issue. The controversial
Bismillah.
issue is about
Bismillah.
abortion. Okay? So in the West, Brother Jafar, I want to update you as well. So this is a conversation between me and you, and the viewers can see how we communicate with one
Mm,
another. So, brother, here the situation is very in the West itself. Let's say the West.
mhm,
The West has gone. It's done an ifrat. Okay, how? What do I mean by that?
mm,
It has gone to
mm,
the extent that it says a woman's right is to this extent that she has the right to terminate the baby whenever she wants during her pregnancy. Okay, that's one. And the
mhm,
reason is because of it's my body, it's my right. Okay,
mm.
and it's this kind of philosophy that's going my body, my right. I can do whatever I want to my body. So the first question I would
Yes.
ask is, if that is the case, then why can't you kill yourself? Why is there a law
Mm,
that you cannot kill yourself? It's your body, kill your body. Why not? Why don't
mm.
you do that?
Yes.
So that's the first objection
Yes.
I would ask them. If it's your body and this is the rule of your body, then why do you do that? And secondly,
Mm,
it's your body. That's fine, but why are you killing someone else's body? Well, see, there's another organism living in your body, another being. So, okay, it's your body. You
mm,
can't. It's your right, but then there's another entity, and that is a conscious
mm,
being which is living in your
mm.
body. Then who gave you the right to hurt that body? Do you see the
Yes.
flaw in the argument? Because if you use the argument that it's my body and I can do whatever I
Mm,
want, okay, we give you that right. Then you don't have a right to do anything to that body that is inside you because
yes.
you cannot
Because
touch
that's
that body.
another person.
That's another being and it's living in its own system. Okay, you might be the carrier of that system, but you cannot disturb that system because it's his or her system. So there's this argument that goes flaw in this way. And I'm sure whoever's listening to this program, they might say, "I'm anti-woman or anti-woman rights." No, it's not. That's not the case. I'm saying it from a religious perspective. I'm saying it from a human
Mm,
rights perspective. I'm not saying that no one has a right to their own body. They do have a right to their body to a certain extent. Just like you don't have
yes.
the right to kill yourself or plan your suicide yourself. You don't have that right. It's a criminal offense. The same applies for other responsibilities where you cannot harm yourself in a certain way that is detrimental to the society. For example, if someone
Mm,
wants to handicap himself, says, I don't want to have
mm,
any arms. You think this is a
mm.
sensible choice to make? It's a silly choice to make. Do you
No.
think a
Yes.
responsible government, a responsible community, would they allow such an
Mm,
individual to do such a thing? They wouldn't allow this, would
no.
they, Brother Jafar? What do you think?
Yes, they won't allow.
So, in, in that light, so this is the problem now in this world where during the time of Fir'aun, he would be doing the killing. Now what's happened is the mothers have become Fir'aun and they're killing their own babies within the womb. And for many
Mm,
reasons. Well, some
mm,
some families do it because they want to have a boy. and because having a
mm,
boy, they will kill the girls within the stomach. So it's as though we are back in the time of Jahiliyyah. It's the same thing that's happening in the time of the Jahiliyyah before the Islamic advent. We had the Arabs;
mm.
they were burying their
The
daughters
ignorant
alive.
view.
Yeah.
Mm,
Now what is happening? We are now killing our own children within the wombs. So the womb is the grave, womb is the death place, womb is the place where the future is destroyed of that child. So we are acting worse than the previous generation. Why are we acting worse? Because we're acting irresponsible. The question I want to
mm,
ask is, and I'm sorry if it's a bit maybe out of line in this program, I'm sure many, didn't this woman have time to think before being pregnated to use contraception? Did they not have
mm.
prevention kind of
Family planning.
you family planning aspects? Why do you reach such a final stage where you have to go through such a vicious way of birth control, family planning? Is this the only option left for you? And this is what's happening. This carefree ghafil society it's so lazy, it's so irresponsible that it takes itself to the very last stage of having an abortion. Weren't there many mechanisms in place before having that abortion? Why couldn't you
Mm,
follow those procedures? Where was your Aqeel at
mm,
that time? Now that you're
mm.
into the pregnancy 3, 4, 5 months, and now you want to do this? What made you do it now? So, according to the embryology, the fetus creation, the heartbeat starts quite early in the development of the baby. So, if the heart is beating, I say any heart that is beating, it's alive now. Once the heart starts to
Mm.
beat, then I assume it's alive, in my opinion. But we will bring in the next program what the fiqh and
Mm.
the Shara says about when if the mother's life is in danger, or if it's out of marriage kind of issue, then what can one do about these things? So these things can be discussed in uh, another program. But I just wanted to touch the controversial issue that's happening, Brother Jafar, in the West. And so we have two types
Yes.
of camps. One camp is pro-abortion, and the other camp is anti-abortion. And
Mm,
so this is an issue that is really affecting the society. I think we have a message from one of our callers. Do you want me to ask? We've opened the line, so I'm sure we've got people now asking questions. So I've got a message on the what do you call it? Um, can you bear with me, Brother Jafar? Okay. Assalamu
mm.
alaikum. Please, can you answer my question? Are we supposed to break our fast first or pray the Salatul Maghrib? We discussed that before, didn't we?
Yes, we discussed that yesterday. Oh, the day before yesterday.
No, it was the day before. I think it was in our first program.
Yeah.
Yes. You want to answer it?
You can continue with the issue of controversial issue. Then I will answer that before
All right.
we move to akhlaq issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and the akhlaq issue, that's fine. So, as I was
Mm,
saying, that
mm,
the abortion issue is so controversial here, and it's as if
mm,
humanity in the West has lost sight of the importance of life, human rights.
mm,
When they
mm,
say my rights, everyone should have equal rights. What about the baby that's in the stomach? Does he or she not have a right? Should she, just
mm.
because it doesn't have a voice, are you allowed to abuse the right of that creation? I mean, we give so many animal rights, animal their rights, and animals are given so much rights, how they should be kept, how they should be even slaughtered, the way they should be slaughtered. So there should be
Mm.
some regulations and policies, ethical values behind these issues that should needs to be
Yes.
understood in this matter.
Mm,
And I don't see a solution to this. What I see is that there is a repercussion that will come if you murder your
mm.
children. And why does one do an abortion? Because they are not ready. Because their
They are not
life
ready.
is not geared for having a baby. Then the question is,
mm,
why didn't you do the preventive measures before? And it's not healthy for a woman to do this. And I've heard many cases where statistically, in the statistic, it shows that a woman gets depressed, a couple divorces one another, the divorce rate is high when they have an abortion, the depression rate is high, and then that stability, that nur, that barakah, that blessing is no longer in that individual's life. So be it if a man forces his woman to do it, or a woman herself by claiming she has all the rights to do it, she does it, she or he or they, both of them, are committing a sin. They are killing a life, which Allah has not allowed them to do that, and that is an issue that we need to address. And I think many people, more especially the Muslim community, needs to think about this. And how can we protect our youth from this hedonistic lifestyle? The reason why someone does this, or they get to that certain um, place where they have to do the
yep.
abortion, is because of the lifestyle they're living. It's, Brother Jafar, the lifestyle I think that they're living. Do you think this is the type of thing that's happening in your place as well, in Kenya, in Africa? Do you see abortion rates high over there?
Yeah, yeah, the abortion rates is higher when people, how can I put it, when they betray one another. And this betrayal issue, I cannot call it even betrayal. When this cheating issue comes up, is when somebody just decides to, just do an abortion. Why? I can say because people are not taking, as they're not taking as they're not taking bond life, or how can I put it? How can I explain it? They are not taking like sharing life as a holy thing. A woman and a man, if they live together, then they should be under a halal relationship. They don't take that as a serious thing. They just, oh, you know what, come we stay. We have one, they call it come we stay. We have come we try. I don't know, we have boyfriend, girlfriend. That issue, when that issue comes up, then no one is responsible. No one, first of all, will like to be committed, to feel commitment in the relationship. And also the man on the other side, he won't be responsible. He knows that, oh, you are here today, tomorrow you are not here. So this, because they don't take a relationship as a holy thing, that's when they fail. That's when they fail. Because if the man is responsible, he will just come to our lady's house and ask for her hand in marriage, official. If the lady is if the lady is ready to commit herself in the marriage, or in a relationship, then if the man is ready, then well and good. If there is no good man, then the lady will tell her father that, Dad, I am ready. I think I am ready. I feel that I will be a committed person. I will be a responsible mother. So, inshallah, if you find a good person outside there, a good man outside there, the one you know, then just introduce him to me, and let me get married. If the issues, if people take relationship and marriage as a serious thing, as a blessed thing, as a holy thing, then this issue of abortion will decrease, will reduce. But if people won't take it as a serious thing, if people won't take as intimate life or intimacy as a holy thing, then people just continue doing abortion. Here in Kenya, here in Africa, especially in Kenya, people do that a lot because they feel afraid. They are afraid, if I'll have a baby, then I will ruin my education. If I'll have a baby, then I will ruin my what? My job. If I will have a baby, if you are ready to be a mother, if you are ready to be a wife, then first of all, prepare the ground for the child to come. Then inshallah Allah will bless you with a baby. The baby will come inside the marriage. He won't be a bastard. Wa na'udhu billah. A lot of
Alhamdulillah,
Muslims,
yes.
they say,
And
no, 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 I'm
religion,
afraid to. A lot of people, a lot of Muslim people, they say, no, 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 I don't want a bastard. You don't want a bastard and you did haram thing. What do you mean?
yes.
If you do halal thing, you'll have a baby. But if you don't want a bastard, then somebody shouldn't do negative thing, which is haram. So that's it, bro.
So I just wanted to answer the question of the someone who sent us the message. So if someone does open their fast, say before Maghrib time, so sunset. So you know we have the sunset and the Maghrib, the Ghurub, the Waqt Ghurub, Ghurub, and then it's Maghrib.
Yeah, the Maghrib we
Okay.
have. Yes, we have Maghrib. Yes, we have Maghrib and we have Layl.
So you have Maghrib and late, and before Maghrib, there's the sun is now starting to set, and
Yes.
Makarim Shirazi from Makarim Shirazi, the fatwa of his is that if someone has done that mistake, for example,
Mm,
that rosa is okay, but next time he
mm,
should avoid that. Okay, so you cannot open your fast before Maghrib. It has to be after Maghrib. Yes, you don't need to pray the Maghrib namaz, but
mm.
once the Maghrib has started, and then you can open your fast. So, so I hope I've answered the question for the caller who was asking this. Do you want to add anything on to this,
But
Brother
it's
Jafar?
better. It is. Yeah, it is better, or it is recommended for the person just to wait like 15 minutes or 5 minutes after the adhan has gone, because the time that
Yes.
adhan is going on, that is Maghrib time. And in Quran we have that thumma atimmu siyama ila layl, then complete your fasting till night, not till sunset. If you are so much pressed you cannot even move because you are very hungry, the day was very tough for you, then just relax. Don't pray. First of all, don't pray. Wait, let the adhan go, then calculate for yourself. If I could be praying right now, then I normally take 5 minutes for 3 rakah prayer. So let me just wait for that 3 or 5 minutes, then I go and take water. No problem with that. But at least you should put a little gap between the time of adhan and maghrib and when you are breaking your fast. Instead of sitting idle and you are healthy and you are okay, then go and pray with your maghrib, then come and break your fast. No problem in that.
Thank you, Brother Jafar. That's a good reference you given from the Quran itself. And however, whoever is watching this program, we do have our Marajas giving difference of opinion or their understanding on this. So the timings of when to open the fast is a bit different from each Maraja. Even the Maghrib time as well. There is a discrepancy for Ayatullah Bahjat says something. It's more in line with Ayatullah Khamenei. So whoever Maharaja you're following, please look into your the guidance that they provide as well. Um, so I hope this should answer that question. Right. Moving on. So the next part that we wanted to discuss was what was it, Brother Jafar? If you could
Akhlaq,
remind me.
inferiority complex and superiority complex.
Yes, yes. Do you want to first talk about the proudness and the humbleness, and then I talk about the inferiority
Nope.
and superiority.
Yeah. In the previous session, we talked about what is pride, or what thing makes somebody to be proud. And we said that if somebody gets proud of himself, they normally get arrogant, mutakabbir, takabbur. And that attribute should be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He owns everything. And on the other side, humility. When somebody is humble, we said what he will get. So I wanted just to give an example today about the pride people in the history. The first being, not even a person, may Allah's curse be upon him. The first being who got arrogant and who felt proud of himself is Shaitan. And we just mentioned it in the previous session that Shaitan, he used to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than other angels, and he had attained a very high status in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his ibadah. But he descended from the position he was till down because of pride and because of being arrogant. When he was commanded by Allah or ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prostrate on whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, he decided to tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know what, Allah, I am better than that person. I am proud because you've created me from fire, and you created the other person from mud. So that person, I cannot prostrate for that person. And here the issue wasn't the prostration to Adam. The issue was disobeying Allah's command. So here he disobeyed Allah's command by being proud. He felt proud, then he decided to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is first person. The second person is the sons of Nabi Ibrahim. When Qabil killed Habil, he said,
You
you know
mean
what, my what? Yes, yes, bro.
the sons of Hazrat Adam, Prophet Adam. You
Yes,
mentioned Ibrahim.
the sons of.
So it's Habil and
Oh,
Qabil.
sorry. Yes, yes, the sons of Prophet Adam. When one person's sacrifice was not accepted, he felt, oh, you know what? I'm better than this person. Why is my sacrifice not being accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And I'm better than this person. Because of that, he decided to kill his brother. The other example that I can say is Fir'aun. Fir'aun, because he had got a lot of money and a lot of wealth. Inshallah, later on I will come to explain to you about the whole history of Fir'aun, how he got his wealth, what happened during his life, and everything. But one of the examples of proud people in the world or in the history was Firaun. Firaun reached to a status, then he reached to a status that he even started telling people, "Ana rabbukumul aala." I'm the higher, or I'm the super, I'm the I'm the super Lord, rabbukumul aala. I'm the highest Lord. So you have to worship me. You can see. So if you are proud of yourself, then just remember, you can't be the what, the army of Imam Mahdi, the army of the Prophet, if this is what you think of yourself. If you are proud of yourself that you did a good thing, then you should keep it for yourself. You should keep it within yourself. You shouldn't tell somebody else. Inshallah, in the next session, we're going to talk about humility, and a little bit I'm going to talk about Fir'aun, because the time is running. So, bro, you can continue about the inferiority complex and superiority complex, inshallah.
Yes. Okay. So I wanted to add this on from our last session. We only spoke about superiority complex and not the inferiority complex. So before I
Mm-hmm,
delve into this, what I wanted to tell you, Brother Jafar, is this: that there are two types of human beings, or there's two types of
mm-hmm,
characteristics a human being can have. Some have,
mm-hmm,
sometimes they go towards having a superiority complex. Now, what does that mean? They feel as though they are more superior than other things, other people, for example. Or on the other
yes,
end, there are people that they have this
mm,
inferiority complex in them, that they have no confidence and all this, and they feel as though they are less than other people. So both of these
mm,
are ifrat and tafreet in my opinion
yes,
and my understanding. So neither
mm,
you should have a superiority complex, and neither should you have an inferiority complex. Why do I say that?
mm,
Is because of the fact that one should be understanding his own value. It's only when we don't know our value we make the mistake of either being a superior being or thinking ourselves as something superior, or thinking of
mm-hmm,
ourselves as inferior. And this is the
mm,
problem. So how do we balance ourselves so that neither we are on this end of the spectrum or on that end of the spectrum? So what do we do? How do we balance ourselves? Because both of these ends have their own negatives. So if someone is acts superior, he can do a lot of janayat, he can do a lot of oppression to the people around him, because he thinks he has all the rights, or she has all the rights than anyone else. And on the other hand, if someone is an inferior person who thinks he's inferior, then he stays in a certain mental problem. What do I mean by mental problem? So if someone has an inferiority complex, he might be in a bad habit. Then he won't have the desire to move away from that bad habit, because he'll say, I'm a bad person, I deserve this, so
mm,
I'll continue doing this
mm,
bad habit, for example.
mm,
And someone on the
yes,
superior end will say, I'm better than everyone, so I don't need to follow the Shara ahkamat because I'm above this. And this is the problem. So both ends have their own problems, where one commits a sin because of his inferiority complex, and the other one
mm-hmm,
commits his sin because of his superiority complex. And both of them are affecting the soul, and they do it in their own ways. And this is how the shaitan makes us feel, because either if the shaitan sees that this person has a bit of a fiery characteristics. Fiery meaning he has, he's like himself, like he's a bit like the shaitan himself. So he makes him proud.
mm,
And if someone has a
mm,
watery type of characteristic or earthly, down to earth, those people that are down to earth, they have the tendency of having an inferiority complex. And this is the personalities you
yes.
can find in individuals. And a lot of things that someone commits, behaves in this way is also because of the food they eat. So, Brother Jafar, you must be surprised. The food that you eat has also an effect on
Mm,
the type of personality or the behavior you will do. So, if someone eats, for example,
yes.
I'm just giving an example. If someone eats a lot of spicy food, you will find that they get angry very quickly, and they
Oh,
and
now I
for
understand.
those that now you understand why I
Now
get
I
angry.
yes. Now yes. Now I understand. Yes.
So the other reason is if someone eats a lot of cold food. Cold food. What I mean by cold food is the food temperament is cold. So like yogurt
Mm,
or anything that is sour. These things are considered cold. So then your body nature becomes a cold natured body. And in that you might even
mm,
feel you might have more depressive nature. And it's a wonderful there's a whole um, book about this, the different temperaments. Either a hot temperament, cold temperament, hot and dry, hot and wet, cold and dry, cold and wet. These are the
mm,
four types of temperaments an individual can have. And this is also taught in the medicine. We're going off topic. Our topic is about proudness and humbleness. But what I wanted to just share with our viewers is that even the food that you eat, even the halal food that you eat, it has an effect on your personality, on your character, the way you behave, on your temperament. If you get easily angry quickly, so you shouldn't be eating hot food. You should be eating then cold
mm.
food. If you have a cold nature, you should be eating hot food to keep you hot and warm
Be an
and not
example and start eating. Be an example and start eating cold food. It will be good for you, inshallah.
not needed live in the program. Right. So this
Be
is
an
this is
example.
about
Be an example.
superiority, and
Mm,
inshallah we both will be an example, and I'm sure the viewers that are watching will also be an example for all the world to see. Because a Muslim is a person who has to emulate the Prophet himself with his good ikhlaq. And the Prophet was one of the most humble of the humblest creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with such a high
mm,
position that the Prophet of Islam had. But if you saw
mm,
him, his humility and his humbleness in front of Allah and in front of the people was of another magnitude and scale. If you see the Prophet, the way he was a leader, he was a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He had no sin to commit. He was pure. But the humbleness you see in him, there was no arrogance in him. There was no proudness in him. And he was he neither had an inferiority complex or a superiority complex. He was an embodiment of someone who you should follow and how you should follow and how you should be humble. And
mm,
I'll give you an example. I was discussing this with some of my friends that the prophet's intellect. If we look at his intellect, and there's a hadith, I don't know which I might in, but from one of the Masamins, where they say that if you put together all the sand particles of the world in one place, and then just take one particle out, so that particle of intellect belongs to the whole humanity that has come and will come, and the remaining particles that are left, that sand, is
mm,
fully the intellect
mm,
of Rasulullah. So that's the difference, that's the comparison. And for such an individual to be humble and to entertain us and to talk to us and give us his precious time, it means a lot. So, therefore, we do not have, as a Muslim, the follower of Islam, the follower of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to act in a proud way, in a haughty way, in an arrogant way. We should always be humble, but never let go of our self-respect. A mu'min
mm,
never allows himself to be disrespected, because it is
mm.
haram to allow yourself to be disrespected. You should always
Yes.
maintain your respect. And what is the way to
mm,
maintain your respect is by following the right values and principles. If you follow the right values and principles, then you will keep your dignity and you will not sell yourself short. It's a very big topic, and I think we are running out of time. We only have very little time left. And I have a message from one person. He wants us to do an istikhara. He's asking, are you able to do an istikhara, Brother Jafar, or shall we do it in the next program?
no, the time on my side is over. It's past midnight. So maybe on your
Well, I
side
think
you do istikhara, but on my
I
side
will,
it's already
I
past
will, I
midnight.
will, do, I will do it after the program for this individual. That's not an issue.
Okay, no problem.
So whoever sent that message, we will do this for you and give in detail what it means, inshallah. So just finally wrapping up, Brother Jafar, what we've discussed today. So we discussed about istikhara. We just discussed about
Yes.
superiority, inferiority complex. We discussed about Ramadan.
Yeah.
We gave a few tips about that.
Mm,
And we also discussed about the controversial issue, which
yeah.
we might not continue more on the abortion issue tomorrow, but we'll bring another topic which is also controversial. And is there anything else left
Inshallah.
that we need to discuss?
Yeah, we also
So,
discussed about the issue of pride and humility.
yes, we also discussed about that. Well, I've got nothing else to
Yeah.
discuss more. I've run out of my power to discuss more. I've run out of ideas and thoughts. If you've got any
We
final
can
words, you should.
discuss we, we can discuss more about humility and the example that you brought forward. But the time is not on our side. There is a story that is being narrated that one person he heard that there is one prophet or even one person, one of the people. He heard that there is a person who brought a new religion, and this new religion tries to change whatever they were worshipping or whatever they were believing on. So he came from whenever he came, he went to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet was sitting with people. So he started asking those people who gathered there, oh, where's the Prophet? Where's the Prophet? Then he was told, no, first of all, he asked when he was on his way. He was told the Prophet, right now, at this time, you can find him there with his, Sahaba. He went to the Prophet directly, to where the Prophet had seated with his gathering or Sahaba. He started asking, where is this Prophet? Where is this Muhammad? Where is this Muhammad? I'm looking for him. I want to kill him. Because he came here to change our life. He came to change our life system. He came to even change the way we worship. Then he found the Prophet just seated there. And he was just very humble. Then he was told that this is the Prophet. He said, no, 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 this is not the Prophet. I want Muhammad, the one who brought new religion called Islam. He was told, no, this is the Prophet. This is the Muhammad you are asking for. He said, if this is the Muhammad people talk about negatively, and this is how humble he is, then from today I'm a Muslim. He went to the Prophet and
MashaAllah.
he recited the Shahadatain. He said,
Subhanallah.
if this is the Prophet that we are follow, you Muslim follow, and this is how humble he is, and down to earth, and we know that he brought another religion, and he is connected to the heavens because of Wahi, then I'm ready to become a Muslim. He came with that arrogancy, but he went back with Islam because of the Prophet's humility. But a lot of people, Brother Faizul Hassan, run away. A lot of people nowadays run away from the religion because of the shuyukhs, because of the ulamas. Oh, that Moulana is very proud. Oh, that Moulana has this. That Moulana has that. Because of our own behavior, we distance people from the religion. And instead of becoming like prophet, we just talk about people should become like prophet, but we are not doing the same.
Yes, Brother Jaffa, Alhamdulillah, that was a very good point you said actually. It touched my heart. That this is how the Prophet's nature was, that a lot of people actually became Muslims by the characteristics of the Prophet. And inshallah, Allah gives us the tawfiq, the viewers, that we can also emulate as the Prophet himself in his way behavior, in his way of how he dealt with people, the way he dealt with himself, how he carried himself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month of Ramadan give us this tawfiq to have the marifah of understanding the seerah of the Prophet, understanding his biography, and by reading the Quran and understanding how he was an example for us. So I will end the program with this, Brother Jafar. And thank you so much, dear brothers and sisters, for viewing the program. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to send us a message on the number that's provided. And if you have anything to ask, as I said, do not hesitate. Inshallah, we will see you again in the next program. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.